off of what you said about the lashes, the breast lift, it's like there's nothing wrong in that. Again, am I doing this with the intention of I'm more lovable and more attractive this way? It's like, am I just boosting myself so I feel better, or is this the source of me feeling good about myself?
I think nowadays we have a lot of awareness. You know, people are aware of these different things, but yet they're still going to that quick fix, right? They're still going to the Ozempic. They're still going and getting a BBL and whatnot. Is your main issue with those things the fact that it is unhealthy, or is it an unhealthy mindset, or is it both?
I would say it's both. I think with BBLs, I don't think it's talked about enough how risky it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's very risky. People have died.
Yeah.
So for me, I listen, like, life is one of the greatest gifts.
Yes.
And to go out because I want a bigger butt, it's not in the cards for me. It's not on my bingo card.
No, I know we're laughing, but it really happens, right?
It's so serious. I know. And when we think about that as a risk, it's not worth it to me. You're talking about the mindset. I think it's just like skipping the process. To grow glutes is a very it's a journey.
Yeah.
I remember I asked the trainer, he's like, yeah, like a year. And I was like, a year? He's like, a year. And I was like, okay, cool. Yes. But if we think about even something like growing a baby.
Oh, yeah.
9 months.
9 months, yeah.
And not even that, even on the holistic side, it's like a lot of people are preparing it for a year before. They're cleansing their bodies. They're saving up.
Welcome back to another episode of the Own It mini-series. Today we're going to be talking about wellness without perfection. So we're talking to Michelle, and we're going to be just getting into about how us women, we are too hard on ourselves, right? And the guys don't even care. So I don't know who we're doing this for. So we're going to be talking about all of the things. And men, don't think you're excluded, because lately, y'all been doing the most too. But we'll get to you another day. So check out the episode. I am here with Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Dani. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Well, Michelle, I want to give you a chance to tell the people a little bit about you and what you do.
It's like such a long question.
In a nutshell.
As women, we do a lot, but I'm a nutritionist, holistic nutritionist. I do something called neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically using language to reprogram your mind. And I do hypnosis. I'm a hypnotist as well. So I use that to apply it to nutrition. When I had first started my nutrition journey as a nutritionist, I was like, why aren't people following their meal plans? And then I realized how we feel about ourselves translates into what we do. So then I asked myself, how do I help people change how they feel about themselves so I can bridge that gap between what we know and what we do? And then I was able to answer that question with, the unconscious mind. Oh, wow. That really plays a role into our behavior, which is really connected to our beliefs.
Yep.
And our beliefs translate into what we do.
Oh, yeah.
So then it was rewinding. And then I just went on this whole journey and figuring out, okay, where do I put myself in a cage based off of society, based off of other people, what I think I should do, and how those shoulds really keep us stuck or they keep us miserable. Yeah. When there's a whole way that we can do things that don't really, it might not be what other people are doing. And that's the scary part.
Yes.
And just learning how to reprogram the mind so it works for us.
Wow, I think that is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because the unconscious mind is something that, as you said, dictates so much of what we do, but we are unconscious of it, right?
Yes.
Because it's your unconscious mind. So reprogramming that is very interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, part of my job is listening between the lines and figuring out what don't they know that I can help them realize so that they can shift into a new reality.
Wow. Okay. I guess we'll have to have you back for another episode about that. But today's topic is how far, right, would you go to look good, right? Because in this era of, social media, people being very about the physical, right? Probably even more so than, the internal, the spiritual, all these other things, right? So I want to kind of start with the question, Michelle, right? How far would you go to look good?
So, I'm I'm just so grateful that when I had really disordered eating and I had this like perception of self, that I didn't have the means to go the distance, because I probably would have gotten plastic surgery. I probably would have gotten lipo if I could have afforded to. The pressure that women have these days, basically just from observing all these people that are billionaires that have the means to have a personal trainer, a chef, to do all this work, and then we compare ourselves to that. I was that person that wanted to do those things.
Wow.
And I've done so many different diets rooted in the intention of, if I look this way, I will be more attractive, I will be more lovable, and that sense of intention will drive you to very desperate means to get there. Now that I'm a nutritionist, it's really shifted. So, I mean, I will do whatever it takes to be healthy. And also to understanding that an obsession with health can also be unhealthy.
Oh, wow.
And there's like, I can't remember the term, but there's a term for that, which becomes like disordered.
Yep.
So you have to be very mindful. Moderation's important.
Yes.
Intention is important. Why you're doing it. And then also listening to your body, which I find people have such a hard time to do, because we're just go. We're in our heads. We're overwhelmed.
Yep.
And, you know, when you're like running the whole day and you're just super busy, and then you finally sit down and you're like, wow, I'm starving.
Yeah.
I
didn't even eat today.
Yeah. And you didn't realize that that's a sign of us being up here and just not in the body. So when it comes to health, when it comes to doing things, sometimes even in a health protocol that I'm doing with myself or with clients, sometimes there is times where you need to deviate because your body's telling you something different.
Yeah.
So to come back to that, I would go the distance.
Yes.
And I have set certain limitations for myself. You know, I don't mind getting eyelash extensions, but I'm not somebody that would do Botox, fillers, surgery. Like, surgery is like, it has to be like an emergency for me to do that.
Yeah.
And everything else, I'm going to get it done slow, progressively, the healthy way,
the natural way.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
No, that's very interesting. No, and I was gonna answer the question too, because it's only fair, right? I think, like, how far would I go to look good? I kind of agree with you that, like, everything has to be done in, like, I think moderation, right? I'm kind of a big believer of that, kind of like balance, not overdoing things. Like today, I'm wearing some lashes, right?
Yeah.
But like, it can peel them off after. But I like things that are just very, like, more simple, more natural looking. Like, that's kind of more my MO, my style. Like, even my nails, like, you see, girl, like, they're just like very like basic, you know? Like, I like that, like the simplicity. In terms of how far I would go to look good, okay, I'm gonna be honest, right? If I had another child now and the man could afford after for me to just get my breast lifted, my tummy tucked, like I'm not saying I'm opposed to that, right? But I don't want to reconstruct my whole body. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to do all of that.
Yes.
I know that, you know, those things are major surgery, though. So you do have to really think about it. I think my first line of action would be to try to work out and see how much, like, I can get off that way, and with diet and things like that. But if I was still, like, you know, at a point where, you know, I felt like, you know, I want to do, you know, those two things that I mentioned, it's a possibility that I might, right? I haven't done anything as of yet. So I don't do Botox, fillers, anything like that too. Partially because of the financial cost too.
What a blessing, huh?
right? I'm like, I have a child, I have a mortgage, you know what I mean? Let's wait. I want to travel, like, you know, let's weigh the various options, right? But I think that, like, doing facials, you know what I mean? Like, working out in moderation, you know, trying to actually, as you said, like, internally be healthy and be happy, you know, in a good place. All of those things are going to help your health too, right? So that's kind of where I am. So I feel like I'm kind of, you know, in the middle, you know. I'm not willing to, like, you know, jump on no Ozempic or anything. And, like, I would say that maybe the last 2 years was probably, like, the heaviest I've been in my life. Now I've actually lost a bit. But previous to that, I never really had any issue with weight. And I also kind of received a lot of, to be very blunt, a lot of validation in terms of how I looked. Like, people usually said, oh, you're so pretty and stuff like that. So I didn't really feel that pressure, you know, in the past. So I think it's very different experiences people can have with that too.
Yes.
Right? If someone had the experience where they were constantly teased, constantly taunted, you know, it's very different than someone who was constantly getting like validation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and just off of what you said about the lashes, the breast lift, it's like also there's nothing wrong in that. Again, am I doing this with the intention of I'm more lovable and more attractive this way? It's like, am I just boosting myself so I feel better, or is this the source of me feeling good about myself? And I think that's the question that women need to ask themselves, or even men. Am I doing this to achieve this feeling of enoughness, of worthiness? And I think that's the difference, because you know that, okay, I'm putting on these lashes to look fancy is what I like to say now, not pretty, because we're always pretty.
You know what? Facts.
You know, we're always pretty. Yeah. And I saw that TikTok of this woman doing her makeup, and her kid asked her that. She's like, mommy's doing this to feel fancy. Because you're always pretty. Yes. So you're putting this on because you want to be presentable. You want to, you know, look fancy. Yeah. But without the lashes, you're beautiful. And you know that. So it's like, I'm doing this just to enhance already what's there. Yes. Versus feeling enough with them on.
And that's kind of how I feel in general. Like, things should be. Like, makeup should just be used to enhance. Yes. The eyelashes should just be used to enhance. I don't think you should look like... If you're trying to make yourself look completely different, you know, how much do you really love yourself if you're completely trying to change your appearance, your hair, your lashes, your everything? And I know I could get some pushback on that from some people, but I'm just being honest, right? Like, I think it should be more about like enhancement.
Starting a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Starting a conversation about it, and what is the point where it gets to be too much, right?
I think it's different every time, and I think asking yourself the question brings you back into your body and checking in. You have to do a heart posture check. So even what you were saying about the different outfits, I really enjoy having different looks. And it's not because I don't feel pretty enough. It's just exciting for me, but I have to check in. Again, am I doing this to get noticed? Or am I doing this to express myself? Am I doing this because it's playful and it's fun? Yeah. Or am I doing this because I don't feel without it, I'm not enough?
Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Okay, let's really get honest here. Okay, when I say, like, you know, am I doing this to get noticed? Low key, probably, yeah. In a little sense,
yes,
right? Like, maybe I play up my eyes or my boobs because they're areas I like, and that I maybe do want to get a bit noticed. Is there anything inherently wrong with that?
So then the second question I would ask you is, would you not leave the house not done up?
Oh, I leave the house not done up all the time.
Yeah. You see my healthy plan, I look like, oh, be like, where are you going? So then I think that it's a healthy balance. I think that if you, because I remember being younger and I was like literally just going to walk to the library down, and I remember doing my makeup. I remember curling my hair. Oh, wow. Mind you, I'm like 14.
Yeah.
So it's an impressionable time.
Yeah, I get it.
And I remember at that age, I actually asked myself the question, you were out of the house for 5 minutes and you took like 40 minutes to get ready to go out for 5 minutes.
Was it worth it? So
not even that, was it worth it? But like, what do you feel about yourself? What do you believe about yourself to put yourself through that process? So I think it's just asking those kind of questions. Yeah. And knowing that, listen, we're beautiful. Yeah. But my beauty is the least important thing about me. It's the least important thing about me. I'm smart. Yeah. I'm strong. Yep. I'm savvy. I'm creative. I have so much business sense. Yes. I'm a child of God. Yeah. I can do multiple things, right? So me being pretty is just the cherry on top.
Yes. You know what?
It's just the bow.
You know what? I think that that's a great way to think about it too, because let's be honest too, like, although like you can still be older and a pretty older person, but your looks are gonna like fade a bit right, over time. So if that's the thing you're putting all of your energy and all of your resources into, you know, you're gonna be hit hard when you hit, like, you know, it's a certain point, right? Like,
yeah. What is your identity rooted in?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's going to become an issue at some point, right? And then
Mhm.
how much are you going to do, right? And then you might end up doing too much and you look like this. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but it's what if, say, God forbid, like you had
Mhm.
an accident, something
Yeah.
happened, life happens, there's health
Yeah.
issues,
Mhm.
and that's taken from you,
Yeah.
then your whole life's gone
Yeah, because you don't have anything.
because
You
you don't
don't
have
feel
enough.
like you have anything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then what are you going to do then?
Yeah. Well, that would be when they would have to try to tap into those other areas, right? But
Yes.
that's why you should do that before. And again, about being more balanced, right?
Mhm.
And knowing the various positive aspects about yourself and your various strengths is important.
Mhm.
So you don't have everything all in one basket.
Well-rounded.
Okay. Well, I feel like, another thing I feel like right now is a hot topic that a lot of people are talking about, right? Is Ozempic, right? Or what do some people call it? Are you on? I think someone had a short term for it. Was it Zempi or something? I don't know. Someone said
You on the Zempi,
right? And I'll be honest, two of my friends even straight up admitted to me that they were, on it and they lost significant amount of weight.
Yep.
Right? Low-key, I'm like, wow, like,
it's tempting,
like
huh?
well, I honestly, because I'm worried about the health risk, right?
Yeah.
I am kind of like, but it's like, wow, like it's a drastic change, right? How do you, like, as a, doing what you do, and like, how do you feel about that and this new wave to,
I feel like
weight loss drugs?
I don't like that it's available to the public so easily. I wish that there was a step that needed to be taken to see if they have an eating disorder, see where their mental health is at, see if there's any other medication or supplements that
could help,
not even that, but interact with that. There's a lot to consider, and I'm sure that they did that. But I actually have a reel that I talked about this, and there's a lot of reports where people are having a lot of digestive issues because what it does is it numbs your digestive tract so you're not hungry, which impacts your hormones, which impacts your hunger cues. So your hunger cue is a hormone. And it keeps us from connecting with our body.
Yeah.
And it's not all negative. I just think that to put it in the hands of somebody that doesn't have the education, doesn't have the ability to discern for themselves. And then, what happens after the Ozempic? You still have those bad habits. So there's fruitfulness in having self-control and self-discipline and learning that, and then slow progression too, especially for bigger people that are losing weight, the skin, right?
Yeah.
If you do it slow and steady, you're likely not going to have loose skin. So that's also something to be talked about too. There's a lot of people that could benefit from it because it is something for people to manage blood sugar for diabetes. So I'm not going to discount that at all. I just think that what else have you done, and have you been patient in the consistency before you reach for that is what I would ask somebody that's considering it.
Okay.
Like, have you hired a trainer? Have you worked with a nutritionist? Have you decided to change your lifestyle? Sometimes it's like sometimes the weight you need to lose isn't on your body. And it's somebody that you need to break up with.
Yeah, wow. And that's another piece.
So that's a whole other thing. But that impacts our health. That impacts our body.
Yeah.
And, you're going to lose weight, but you're still going to be miserable. And I think that going through the process is the outcome that we get to gain. We get to learn about ourselves. We get to grow in that. Yeah. So we just skip that.
And you get to like the root of the issue, as you said. Yeah. Sometimes, as you said, it's like you need to drop this person, you need to drop this friend, this man, whomever it is, right? Woman, whatever, right? And yeah, that is very true because a lot of things our body, like, keeps score, right? Of everything that's happening. So yeah, I totally agree with that too. And that also comes back to, I think it's important for people to be in touch with their body, do body scans, do those things, because you sometimes, like, when someone has broken up with someone and then they have a big like glow up and they look like amazing and, and you're like, oh, okay, like, that's a prime example, right, of just that lightness maybe that needed to be shed. So that's an interesting point as well.
And sometimes like what we really need to do is like the simplest thing that we avoid. And I've recognized that even in my business too. And it's just like this disbelief that it won't work. And I've been watching that with just some of my simple holistic practices that it's kept me from being consistent because I don't believe it will work.
Oh, really?
And then I discount it and then I
Such
don't
as?
do it. Like, for example, like dry brushing. Like
okay.
something like simple like that for me.
Yeah.
Right? I've been doing that. I've been dry brushing my armpits and it's changed the way that I've been sweating.
Oh.
Which is because it's opening up your lymphatic system, allowing you to drain the toxins from your body. And I was like, oh, this won't work. So then I just wasn't consistent. And then I started doing it believing that I was like, this is going to do a great thing. This just makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's changed everything for me.
Oh, wow.
So even if we're thinking about that in terms of, I don't know, like going to the gym or eating healthy, believing that it will work. And then the Bible talks about this too, faith in action, like believing in your prayers as you pray for it too. That is just what transforms and just allows things to happen, being expectant as you're doing something.
With everything. It's,
everything.
You know, if you believe it's going to, you know, work, it will probably work. If you don't, then it probably won't.
I always tell myself, whatever you believe, whatever you decide, you're right. So if you believe it won't work, you're right. Yeah. If you believe that it will work, you're right.
You're right. Yeah.
You'll always be right in that sense.
But what about people who it's very hard for them to believe it? Like someone who's like, as you said, you talked about someone really big earlier, right? That person's probably not going to believe that they can lose the weight. They're just going to think, I can't do this. I'm just like too big. It's going to be too hard. It's going to be, you know? So for that person, it's like, I actually said, I think once, I would understand why a really, really overweight person would want to go on Ozempic, because they would probably just be so already downtrodden and not believing that they can do it, that they need that little boost to like get them going, right? While I agree with you that probably the best method would be for them to start working out and be consistent and whatever, sometimes you're not in the space where you're able to do that. So it's hard. It's hard. It's a hard choice.
I would say though, if you are somebody that is like a bigger person, they actually lose a lot of weight right at first because it's a very like intense thing. Yeah. Even if they're going moderate, like they will see a big change actually right up front.
You mean what? When they start
like working out, when they start eating well, like they'll see actually a big drastic drop at first. Plateau. And then they won't necessarily plateau, but it'll be a little bit slower after a while. Okay. So in instances like that, which is like actually really aligned to the work that I do. But one thing that I think is so powerful is testimonies. Yes. And it's because of the way that the brain works. So our brain needs to see an example of it already happening, which is why mentors are so amazing. Yes. Which is why the church is so transformative, which is why those before and after pictures are so great. Oh, yeah. Because our brains are like, that happened for that person. It can happen for me. So it's unwiring that can't. And then if I was working with them, I would probably ask them like, what is that experience with you where someone before had told you that you can't? Yeah. That it didn't come from you.
Lose weight.
Someone told you. And it probably wasn't.
Or can't do something.
You can't do something. It probably wasn't even weight loss. It probably was something else. Yeah. And then you believed it. Yeah. And then you self-sabotage and you just don't show up for yourself, which makes it true, because then you're like, I can't do it. And then you're right again. So that can't will show up as like them maybe canceling on their personal training sessions, or they just don't make the time to go and grocery shop and plan. So they're like, I can't. So it just makes it feel very impossible. Yes. And there's tools that I use to help like change that. But very simply, in a very easy way, is just looking at other people that did.
No, you're right. You're right. And your methods, like, they make total sense. Like, I use them with my clients as well, right? Like, clients that I have that might want to lose weight, things like that. You know, we, let them join communities where they can gain mentors. You try to, improve the way that they're thinking about themselves and their abilities, all of those things. And, all of those are great methods, right? But then it's funny because people are, I think nowadays we have a lot of awareness. People are aware of these different things, but yet they're still going to that quick fix, right? They're still going to the Ozempic. They're still going and getting a BBL and whatnot. So is your main issue with those things the fact that it is unhealthy, or is it an unhealthy mindset, or is it both?
I would say it's both. I think with
Mhm.
BBLs, I don't think it's talked about enough how risky it is.
Oh yeah.
It's very risky.
Mhm.
People have died.
Yeah.
So for me, I listen, like, life is one of the greatest gifts.
Yes.
And to go out because I want a bigger butt, it's not in the cards for me. It's not on my bingo card.
No, I know we're laughing, but it really happens, right?
It's so serious.
I know.
And when we think about that as a risk, it's not worth it to me.
Yep, I agree.
And I think another thing too, you're talking about the mindset. I think it's just like skipping the process. To grow glutes is a very it's a journey.
Yeah.
I remember I asked the trainer, he was like, yeah, like a year. And I was like, a year? He's like, a year. And I was like, okay, cool, a year. Now I know that. Yes. But if we think about even something like growing a baby.
Oh, yeah.
9 months.
9 months, yeah.
And not even that, even on the holistic side, it's like a lot of people are preparing it for a year before. They're cleansing their bodies. They're saving up. Yep. You know what I mean? They're getting a bigger house. Like, they're improving their habits, waking up earlier. There's a whole preparation process.
Yes.
And in my opinion and what I value, I think that there is so much fruitfulness in the process that we skip out and that we get to learn. And it's tempting. And I think that what has driven a lot of people to do these procedures is just our brains are just always looking at other people.
I was gonna say.
So when you're on social media, it's so tempting to see somebody that's selling 30-day glute program and their butt's so massive, and it's like they know that they went to Brazil for that, and it's like,
I was gonna say, and their bum is probably not even theirs, it's
not even theirs, and there's just such lies that are on there, and it's just the way that our brains work. So safeguarding our minds and what we consume, not only through food but through what we're looking at and what we're learning. It changes the way that we think when you're around normal looking people, and that we also should look different. That's like
that's part of our uniqueness.
That's part of our uniqueness. And like, I saw a quote that said, our face is the face of generations that have loved each other. And to like want to get rid of that, to like have a nose that everyone else has.
Yeah.
It's like, these are like my grandparents loved each other. Their parents loved each other. And this is the face that I get to have. And this is the face that my family sees and they get excited to see because they love me. And I think that when we can shift into that gratitude there and just really seeing ourselves as I'm more than just an object to look at. I'm a contributing member of society, of my community, of my family. And sure, we can like look better and feel better. And I'm all for that. But when we start to nitpick, like we're in a shopping mall and we're just adding it to the cart, it's a little weird.
It gets to be too much, right? Because like, where does it end, right? It's like there's almost no end in sight, because you could literally change every single thing if you wanted to, right? And some people, even just their upkeep, I'm thinking, how do you afford this? Like, how do you afford like hair, nails, can't. Brows, lashes?
Some people can't. That's the reality.
Botox. I'm just like, damn, because these things aren't cheap.
No,
they are not cheap.
I thank God for that a little bit.
Because then a lot of people, I just can't, But then that settles in too, right? In different ways if they want to and they can't, and then now they're depressed and all these things. But along the same lines, when you're talking about social media, right? I agree, like just having the knowledge and knowing yourself that, hey, this is not real, right? I was recently told about an app where I was like, wow, I did not even know this existed.
Facetune?
Yes.
So crazy. It's crazy.
Girl, even the girl put on my picture and I was like, damn, who's that? Because the Facetune just makes you like, whoa.
And you can edit videos now too.
Immediate glow up, right? But honestly, I usually don't even use those things because I just also think like, why am I going to further perpetuate that? Like, why don't I just show up like, as myself? Even for your body, like it also even just like will make your bum look bigger, will make your like,
they do it on videos now, so they'll adjust it while you're in a video, so it's ultimate deception.
Yeah. So you're comparing yourself to things that don't even exist. Like, have you not had the experience where you saw someone that was like, I call them like, like an IG baddie or like or whatever, and you see them in person.
Yeah.
And you're almost like, oh,
yeah,
this is how they look in person?
No.
Because it's nothing like how they look online.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it just kind of shows you how much those pictures are messing with reality. Because like no shade to those people, but like they don't look the same. Yeah. They don't look the same. Like you just look like
my greatest fear.
A normal girl.
It's my greatest fear. Sometimes there's a joke. I'm like, do I look like I had it online?
Really?
Just because like sometimes I put a filter on or whatever, but I never want someone to be surprised when they meet me in real life.
You know what? And when you talk about that, I think about catfishing and stuff like that with like online dating and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing, right? But it's like, show up. Like, I think it's much better to show up as your like authentic self. Yes. Like maybe like, as you said, slightly enhanced. Like, you can have a little lash, little makeup. But you don't want it to be that you go somewhere and someone's like, who's this? Yes. And they've seen you online. It's two totally different things. I know some people are doing it for money. They're doing it for their bag, to make money. But I think it's more harmful than anything else, I think, because it's setting up unrealistic expectations for people of you and other people for themselves, right?
But even in that sentence of like doing it for money, it's like, again, just like not believing that you can make money as you are. So if I'm putting on lashes to like accentuate versus like completely changing my look online with an app or all these filters, it's like, again, pushing that belief that I'm not worthy enough of making money as I am. And for me, like, I want to stand rooted in integrity as I make money. So it's, again, there's a lot of temptation out there, and I don't want to open myself up, because then you have to continue that to keep it.
Oh yeah.
And that's just like not something that I'm interested in.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like I'm like that too, in the sense that even like a friend offered me to do a course, but because it's just not in line with what I want, like what I want to promote. Yep. I just didn't bother to do it, right? But not everyone thinks like us. Like, let's be honest. Some people are like, oh, I can make more money. Like, okay, I'm going to slap on that filter. I'm going to slap on these things. So I think for each person individually, it's just important for you not to internalize that, for you to look at that and start to look at yourself in a negative way. Sometimes if you need to come off of social media, unfollow that, IG baddie, whatever it is, right? That you need to do in order to bring yourself back. Yes. And to not start to get into that mindset of having unrealistic, expectations for yourself, or becoming obsessive about wanting to be like, quote unquote, perfect, i.e. cookie cutter like everyone else,
Yeah, we're great as we are.
Yeah. I always say, just think of the one or two things that you do like and accentuate those things.
Yeah, I like that.
I always say that even to clients. I ask them, like, what's one part of your body or one part of, that you do like, right? Because usually most people can think of at least one thing they like. If they can't, then obviously we have to do some more work there or whatever. But often they can think of one thing that someone else has even said is nice on them or whatever. And I say, okay, well, accentuate that, focus on that. You know what I mean? You don't have to have the quote unquote perfect everything in order to be beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, you're unique. Yeah, as you said, you have to I think you have to embrace your own uniqueness in order to truly be at peace with yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciated your insight, that you wanted to like focus on self and like, you know what I mean? And like kind of come back to your body. If you could leave, everyone with like maybe one more tip so that they kind of don't fall down that, rabbit hole of just, trying to be like everyone else, what would be that last, like, word of wisdom or thing that you would suggest?
I would say, because it's New Year's, it's January right now as we're filming this. And everyone's real hot trying to do it all. So I would say to not overload your to-do list and really focus on doing a few things really well and then add to it. And remember that, we crawled before we walked. So, and then, we got really good at crawling and then we walked. So it's the same thing there, because that is what will keep you. I have this new thing where I'm like, it's not New Year, new me. It's New Year, all year me. So
okay.
I'm showing up consistently.
Yes.
Even if that consistency, and we discount the, I only got to the gym for 20 minutes. It's like, but you got there. And then just focus on getting there. And then next week, make the workout better. And then just slowly start adding those habits, like habit stacking that, because that is how we will get to the finish line. That's how you won't burn out.
Yes.
That's how you won't be overwhelmed. And that's how you take care of yourself, because that's the whole point. We're doing this to take care of ourselves. So we don't want to push ourselves to, especially with like people being sick and going to the gym because it's like January, I have to go. I've just started. Cough, 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 getting everybody sick. It's like the whole point is we want to be well,
healthy,
and we want everyone else around us to be well. So let's take care of ourselves and be kind and be patient. Like for some people, they're picking up a new habit, and you're going to get it wrong many times to get it right. So be okay with that. Do it slow, do it steady. And if you are finding yourself trying to cherry pick all these random things, like stick to one and honestly hire somebody, because they're going to be the person that you can ask all these questions to. They'll set the road straight for you. They're the expert. And then you just have to show up. So it's less mental work. Hire somebody, and you just like this podcast room, what we're doing. You just have to talk. That's it. That's it. You just have to talk. And there's a professional here that's going to do all the beautiful things. You don't have to figure out anything else, right? And that's just like, give the experts the chance to be experts. And then you just have to focus on consistency.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think those are great points, just to, just focus on a few things at a time, to be patient, to, hire experts where you can, considering money restrictions and stuff like that. I think those are great pieces of advice. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your insight, and it's a pleasure. I'll have to have you back on to talk about, what were we talking about at the beginning?
The unconscious mind.
Yes, the unconscious mind.
Girl.
We'll have to have you back to talk about that. Because
that's juicy.
Girl,
hidden secrets.
We're going to have to talk, right? Well, thank you to all of you for tuning in, and, join us next time on